good man, the 12th Doctor's theme is starting to feel so repetitive now. I mean, MacLeod is using it so much. Almost as much as I am the Doctor in variations such as every planet and every star. Only after the 11th Doctor's era did we finally see that trend in. No! It's every planet, every star, come back to haunt me! This can't be! Murray, why? Next thing you know, I'm the Doctor itself will be back! I deny this reality! Hi everybody, 64 Studios 101 here, and I am doing a rather late review of The Return of Dr. Mysterio, which, at the time of recording this, is the newest Doctor Who Christmas special, having premiered on December 25th, 2016. First of all, this review will include spoilers, so if you have not seen it, don't watch this video. And now, to begin! This episode stars Peter Capaldi as the Doctor and Matt Lucas, who returns as Nardole for reasons that I still can't comprehend. Not that I dislike Matt Lucas, of course, but I find Nardole quite annoying. Anyway, Justin Chatwin appears as the masked superhero known as the Ghost, aka Grant Gordon, nice comic book reference, and Charity Wakefield appears as reporter Lucy Fletcher, and while her American accent isn't very good, it seems she's certainly trying, and her acting ability is more than compensated. Oh, and the script is by Steven Moffat, of course. Many prominent and not so prominent members of the Whovian community weren't very excited about this episode. Many people didn't like the idea of a superhero in Doctor Who, though, as my brother pointed out in the comments of the Return of Dr. Mysterio trailer, there was technically one in the Mind Dropper, way back in the second Doctor's era. To be fair, the superhero in question was in the land of fiction, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like, complete with spoilers for an almost 50-year-old episode, an evil computer actually controlling the whole thing. Now, almost everyone you talk to loves the Mind Dropper, except me, I just like it, but many might prefer superheroes only being fictional in Doctor Who. Perhaps the big thing was the Series 9 finale, which almost everybody except me hated, so many people did not have high hopes for the show's future. I just kinda disliked it. The plot is fairly straightforward, not to mention fun and light, as you might expect, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing. The episode starts out with the Doctor accidentally giving a young Grant Gordon superpowers when the boy mistakes an alien gemstone that the Doctor owns. Well, he's using it for medicine. It gives Grant superpowers. See, this gemstone thinks that Grant wants to be a superhero because you know Grant is a big fan of superheroes, so it gives him superpowers. Now, even for Doctor Who, I thought this was too far-fetched. Probably because it's just such a ridiculous concept, perhaps even too ridiculous. Anyway, that's pretty much just a nitpick and nothing too major. Now, something else I feel I should address is the fact that so many comics were directly referenced. Grant owns a Superman comic from the mid to late 1980s, if the art is anything to judge by. It's John Byrne art, and has several comic book posters. It's one thing dropping names from other franchises, such as when Rose calls the Doctor Spock in The Empty Child, or was it The Doctor Dances? But I don't know about actually showing an Incredible Hulk 181 poster on the wall. The episode also features several homages to the 1978 Superman movie, and as we'll get into later, I do quite like those. Anyway, back to the plot. So the Doctor and Nardole, who was later revealed to be back because the Doctor got lonely and cut him out of the Hydrofax's body. Another brilliant excuse for bringing one of your characters back to life, Moffat, is investigating Harmony Shows, which is pretty much your generic evil corporate business company, or so it seems. Anyway, the Doctor also discovers that Lucy Fletcher is investigating the company, and this is the perfect way to introduce her into the plot. It shows that she is very investigative. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Not unlike a certain Lois Lane, who her character is rather obviously a big homage to. I mean, she even works as a reporter for a prominent newspaper. So, the Doctor, Nardo, and Lucy discover that the company is actually run by alien brain-like creatures who look too goofy to come off as a real threat. Oh well, this is a lighter episode, as I said. Not every episode of Doctor Who has to have absolutely terrifying monsters, even if almost all of my favorite episodes do. Apparently, these guys are also in the Husbands of River song, and I was wondering why Moffat had suddenly started to make all of his aliens open up their heads in a gross-looking manner. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the grossness of these guys. They just seem unnecessarily disgusting. I mean, it's one thing to have it be a lighter, humor-filled episode of Doctor Who, but I don't like gross-out humor. Also, we are introduced to Grant, who is working as a nanny for Lucy. Now, Lucy is very much like Lois Lane, and she has no idea that Grant is this famous superhero despite Grant's flimsy disguise of glasses. So basically the exact same dynamic between Lois Lane and Superman. I can't decide if I like this or if it's too obvious. There are several moments that are almost exactly like the 1978 Superman movie, especially Lucy states our interview with the Ghost, where he tries to reveal his identity to her, but she doesn't look at him. Anyway, eventually the Doctor and Nardo, with help from the Ghost, are predictably able to save the world from the evil brain aliens, and everyone is happy! Yay! Actually, though, things are a bit more complex than this. They do, of course, save the day when the Doctor is able to cause the alien ship to crash and the Ghost prevents it from hitting the ground. Anyway, the Ghost eventually musters up the courage to reveal that he is, in fact, Grant to Lucy, and the Doctor and Nardo leave, though not before mentioning River Song. Now, I never particularly liked River Song, and the Husbands of River Song made me like her even less, so I wasn't thrilled with the references to that episode in River. I do like that Nardo shows that he can be a bit more than comedy in this last scene, though, when he tells Grant and Lucy how the Doctor is sad about never seeing River again. I was among those baffled with the idea of bringing Nardo back, and after seeing this episode, I'm still baffled. Maybe Series 10 will show us why Nardo is so necessary. Most of what Nardo said is simply not funny, and this is the problem. He doesn't really do much except provide humor, with quotation marks. While a few lines he has are amusing indeed, the vast majority simply feel way too immature. The relationship between Grant Gordon, who even has a comic booky name, and Lucy Fletcher is the most interesting part of the episode plot-wise. I don't know if this is a good thing considering so much of it is taken from the Superman movie. Peter Capaldi, like always, is an amazing actor, so it was at least pretty good to watch him. Well, this episode did make me slightly more excited for Series 10 of Doctor Who, at least. It wasn't great and it wasn't terrible, but it certainly was fun, which is something I can appreciate in an era of television becoming darker and darker and darker and darker, and yeah, you get the point. The villains were rather boring, but the other parts of the plot were quite engaging, actually, for the most part. This isn't the type of episode I could see myself rewatching in the near future, but I certainly do not regret seeing it. Murigold's music wasn't particularly interesting either, and I say this as a musician and a general fan of music myself. If you enjoy comic books, you will most certainly enjoy this episode. It may not be flawless, but it is enjoyable. I give the Return of Dr. Mysterio 7 out of 10. Seriously though, Capaldi is the best part about the episode acting-wise. Good thing he's not gonna leave anytime soon. No!